Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this video. This one's going to be a slightly different video. It's not going to be sort of a strategic, sort of process-driven video. It's just going to be more informational. And I'm going to run through 5 things I done when I started my agency and the mistakes I made along the way. So these are 5 key points that I think everyone should be aware of when they actually start their agency, because we always talk about the glory and how to win clients and make money, but there's some things that might save you hours and hours of agony and pain and frustration if you just watch this short video. Hopefully it's going to give you an idea. Again, this is a personal video, it's my personal perspective. What helped me, if I sat down and started another agency, these would all be in the front of my mind. I won't be making these mistakes. So ideally, you can learn from this before you launch, or if you're launched already, starting your business, you can hopefully learn from this, and it will just give you food for thought, and you might think of other things along the way. It's really important in life. I learned this many years ago. You don't have all the time to make every mistake. So learning from other people what works and learning from their mistakes is equally as valuable. So I hope you find value in this. So, on to point one. My biggest thing when I started my agency was I'm not going to rip people off. I'm not going to be too expensive. I'm going to give my clients a good deal and I'll still make a lot of money. That was my idea of it. And it was a win win situation. I tried to be not, well, ideally the cheapest, but I knew I was a good recruiter. I would out recruit most people, 99%. But I wanted to be the best and the cheapest. Actually, it doesn't really matter if you're cheap. What clients don't like, clients love to pay me money or anyone that's good if you find them what they're looking for. They don't want to be paying for substandard quality. And that's what I learned. It was very interesting when I learned that. It's only recently I learned that, probably about a year ago, I would say. And most are happy. I used to charge 10%. I started off with 8, 10, 12. Um, if they're confident in your ability, you could charge above industry rate, industry standard. I've been times where I've signed clients up and I've put their rates up afterwards. So that, and they've said, yeah, that's fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. So the market doesn't even always see it that way. Typically, I found from experience as well, people that are negotiating tend to not value your service. Recruitment is difficult at times, all the time, but having that element of, how can I put it? You're sort of not budging on your price. I point blank now. Anyone tries to negotiate, I'm not interested in working with them. I don't want to actually negotiate. I just say, look, if it's the price that's the issue, probably it's not going to be a good fit, unfortunately. And I end the call, I end the conversation. 9 times out of 10, I would do that because I know where it's going to go. I learn from experience. Anyone that negotiates me is immediately a red flag. I'm in the driving seat now. Yeah, I've got every client I've ever wanted. Yeah, on speed dial. I call them, they take my call. I've built the business. Yeah, starting off, you can do that from the start. Obviously, if you don't have the experience, it's hard to work out. On the flip side, you don't want to start blowing deals left, right, and center when you haven't even got, a basket of clients ready to go. Yeah, and you do get a respect or perceived perspective when you do charge slightly higher. They want to know why you're slightly higher. Why are you confident to even pitch that? Um, Again, I'm not too bogged down on fees. I say it a lot. I think you need to look at accounts, how much value they add to your business and your bottom line, rather than, oh, I signed a client up at 20% or 25%. Well, what do you do? I've got a client on 10% that I make 80 grand from a year. So your 20% is irrelevant until you've actually billed from that client. And that goes with any business. Yeah. So ideally, charge what you think is either average market rate. Ideally, it's your whole business. So whatever you feel, if you feel like, look, I'll be happy with 5 grand a month. All I need is 2 placements. I'll charge 10%. Fine, do what you want. You can adapt fees as you go. You'll be signing up new clients all the time. They'll be coming to you. You'll be going to them. So you can always adapt and change that. It's not a major issue. Yeah. Another second one is I try to do it all myself. I am hands down an absolute control freak. I don't want no one touching nothing. I don't want no one knowing how much money I'm making. I don't want anyone to know anything. Yeah. And I certainly don't want them to have any access to my emails or documents or know who I'm signing up, etc. Yeah. Which is a bit weird when I've got a YouTube channel showing everything, but um, yeah, I try to do it all myself. I've always been an independent person. I don't need a business partner. I certainly don't want a business partner. I don't want to go into business. I don't want to work with anyone. It's all me, me, me. I'll do it my way or the highway. It it actually worked very negative. Now that works well in personal life and everything else, but it did slow the growth of my agency, even to the point where I was doing my own accounts. So for about 2 years, I was up, late at night, and it was just never ending. I was always doing admin. So now I've outsourced it. I've got 3 people on the admin side. I do not outsource any recruitment, any client interaction. I do all of that. I deal with all the clients and candidates. However, I have, someone for the finances. I've got an advisor for the software I need, and I do occasionally hire consultants. I used to a lot more. I even had someone that was on the sort of, I don't know, psychotherapist level. So I used to meet with her once a week, just to get my, what are they called, growth efficiency people or whatnot. And I used to pay them a hefty sum. I've hired someone on 3 grand an hour for tax, and he saved me a hell of a lot of money. That's when I was looking to acquire a business. So you can go down and meet with these people that will give you years of knowledge and cost save you and do you really well. Like an accountant will save me. I'll gladly pay to have that Sunday off instead of me doing my accounts. I'll gladly pay that £2,000 a year, whatnot. Yep. So outsourcing little bits in your business, whether that's through software, freelancers, or you're actually hiring recruiters, will turn it into a business as such. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you've got 20 staff or 10 staff. I have got a friend who's got 5, 6 staff, and I make more than him. So it's whatever works for you. Just avoid doing every single bit yourself. Um, a lot of people call me Superman or I'm a robot, but um, you can't always do everything yourself. You can, but it's not as efficient and it will slow your growth down. So having that element in place, there's always going to be, you have to when you start off, you have to do everything. But when you actually grow and adapt your business, yeah, that's when you've got cash in the bank. All right, where am I going wrong? You sit back and say, look, I'm spending too much time on the admin. Can I get someone in for 7 hours a week? Yeah, just to post my adverts. I've got someone that just does adverts for me, and it's automated. I don't talk to that person. They don't contact me. That's how I want it. I just want to work, speak to my candidates and clients, and that's it. Now, I banged on about this, so I'll run through it very quickly, picking the wrong niche. Little does anyone know, I actually failed in my first recruitment agency, and I haven't told many people this. And yeah, it failed miserably. I got no clients, I got tons of candidates, and the only reason was I picked the wrong niche, and it hurt. I set up, I've still got the website to this day, and I'll never let it go because it just shows what can be done. If anyone wants to see the website, let me know. But in terms of me failing a business, it was all down to niche. That was it. It was nothing else. Nothing about me as a recruiter, because I'm making, 250,000 working a job, yeah, for someone else. I start my own agency and I do fuck all. So it's the case of me having my own, correct niche was most important. Yeah, you're better off doing a few months of research before launching, and that's really key with it. I do have videos on niche. I've probably got about 30 videos on picking your niche because it's such an important thing. It will be the difference between, making 10 grand a month or making 20. Like, it's literally maybe even more than that. It could be the difference between 5 and 50. I'll very safely say that. If you get onto a real winner, and there are real winners out there, it can change your life. Picking a niche. So it's really important, more so than your skill and skill set and how good a salesperson you are and how good at, convincing people to go to interviews. It doesn't really matter as much. It's all a boring cycle and a process with recruitment rather than your skill set and the gift of the gab. I've learned that over the years. Yeah. Ideally, as well, just to give you a heads up, you want to have either knowledge in the industry, worked in it or studied it, or have a keen interest in it. So I'll give an example of that. You worked as, I don't know, a bus driver, so you're going to recruit bus drivers, yeah? Or you love buses and the transport system, and you study on the weekends and the train system, etc. you can recruit in it because you have knowledge, you know the terminology, it works well. Yeah. Ideally, it goes first if you recruited in it, then if you've worked in it, and then if you've studied it or have an interest in it. Ideally, the people that do the best are the people that have the knowledge in the sector and have worked in it. Yeah, it's not actually the recruiters, believe it or not. That's from my experience coaching hundreds of people, and that's what it's come down to. So it's people that are industry experts, more than 5 years experience working in the field. They have been a builder or bricklayer or whatever position or profession, and they end up doing well, better than the recruiters. Funny enough. So that's number three. Number four is spending too much money, and I don't mean spending too much money because I'm quite a reserved, bootstrap type of businessman. So it's very, you've got to really wow me for me to buy your software. Actually, software is something I spend a lot on because I value time over that because I'll make more money if it saves me time. And the one thing that I done early on was I bought the wrong things. I ended up having a run rate of £600, which isn't a lot. Looking at things now is no not a lot of money where the business is at now. But having £600 minus every month on something that I wasn't using was a lot. So I brought CRMs, I barely used it. It was only later on it became, valuable. So work things in. I had an office for the first business, like an idiot. Um, so it's like I used to go there in the evenings, and I thought I'd be more efficient and be more professional, but I never really went. I went like two, three times, and I was like, I'll just do it from home. I had business cards. I even brought suits, thinking I'm going to meet clients. I never used to meet clients. I used to meet a few clients, so it was a transition for me. And I tried to be the old school '90s recruiter, which it didn't work. So I just spent unnecessary cash. Um, Also, cash flowing. Your If you're moving from a salaried job, or you've never worked, or you've had a fixed income or low income, the revenue can be up and down. You could get a month where you get, £10,000 into your bank clear after tax. Some people, I know, some people might not have never seen that money. Some people might get much more than that. And they might think, that's a lot of cash. I need a new car. But the money belongs to the business. It doesn't belong to you as such. Although you can take the money out of the business, but it's your revenue is going to be up and down. So learn to manage it on a yearly basis rather than it's a hard transition. That's one of the things I found more difficult because it was, what do I do with all this cash? I don't know. Like, do I blow it? Do I buy this? It's a difficult thing. And also in the months where you don't make any money or a few months in a row, it can be very difficult, especially if you don't have cash in the back, in the bank or anything for cash flowing. So my general rule is if I buy anything now, I have to be like, wow, I really want this now. If I want a new phone, unless I order right now, I won't buy it because that will usually fade. And it's much harder to do that when you actually have a lot of cash. So if you have six figures in the bank and you don't have much running costs in your business, for example, you're going to get sold to very easily because you'll say, oh, that's only 1-2% of my business. But actually, that might have took you 6 months of pain to earn that money, maybe even more. So spending too much money, at the start of your business when it's not generating business does not make much business sense. So please bootstrap your agency because it might fail like my first one. So point number 5, I'll be very quickly on this. Taking too long to launch is a thing that can actually hurt your business. If you go back through my videos, I'm deep in the recruitment industry. All I do is recruit. This is my life. It'll be the life probably till I die. Delaying anything is never good in business. So people have been emailing me for over a year, asking me the same questions. I'm looking to launch. Is this a good niche? I've stopped replying to those people because they just, they're never going to launch and they just want, free advice from me. No disrespect. Obviously, I hope you do well. Wish you all the best. But, you're taking a year to launch a business. Are you serious about it? Are you really going to actually do anything with it? Delaying any business is good if you're doing research or if you're planning. But if you're just thinking, oh, do I really want this? You should be dead excited to start your agency. And if that means booking a call with me and having a chat, I'll get you hyped up. I'll show you figures. I'll show you everything you need to know. Um, Business plan. The only reason people say, "Oh, I'm doing my business plan," or "I'm just fixing my website," business plan is only needed if business plans go out the window. And I learned that very quickly. Like, everything changes. No one's business plan had coronavirus in it. Yeah. The only reason people do business plan or business, when you're studying business studies, they tell you to do a business plan. If you want to get financing, if you want to go to the bank for a loan, they ask you for a business plan. And anyone can write anything in a business plan. So it's worthless. You'll change. You'll go into recruiting, engineers, and then 2 years later, you'll be recruiting, I don't know, developers because you've seen a golden opportunity. A business plan restricts you, it doesn't let you pivot. Another thing is what I struggled with. Well, I didn't really struggle with, but I never thought it was possible to own a six-figure business. It was all that was always for either people born into money or you know this isn't for someone like me. I'm just going to work for someone else. It was always that mentality, and quitting a job, starting your own business when you've got a young kid or you've got no education, no skills, you might not even recruited before. It's a big step. It's a huge step, in fact. And I don't mean to make this into a motivational video, but I've talked to many recruiters that have started their own agency, and not one of them has regretted it ever. Not one established business has ever said to me, "Oh fuck, I wish I can go back and get a job. Like I miss going to the 9 to 5 job." Believe me, you work more than you think. Running your own business, especially in the first year, especially the first year or two, you will. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up, and that's part of it. That's part of the fun. For me, this is all fun. I love it. It's stressful, but it's no one ever regrets it. No one ever. You don't see no one on LinkedIn writing, "I wish I never quit my job." No one ever writes that. No one ever says, "Oh, I wish I didn't quit my job." I'm not advocating not working for people, but personally, it's insane to even work for someone else. I couldn't see it unless you're doing like a freelance position where you can just drop it and find another client. But if you're doing 9 to 5, respect to those people, but it's certainly not for me. It's modern day slavery to me, and they pay you what 20 grand a year or something. Like, start your own agency, you'll make that in a month. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and best of luck for all. Any questions, let me know.